Everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of Tice's Tech Track, a podcast about me documenting my my tech journey, tech and solopreneur journey, or indie hacker journey through the world of online businesses, basically. So yeah, that's sort of the stage of my life I'm currently in, which is I'm trying to build like an online business or use my coding skills, which I already have, and use in my day-to-day job to build applications for myself, or not necessarily for me, but for other people to use. And hopefully they'll be able to get a lot of value out of it, and I'll be able to get paid some way like that. That's sort of the goal of this period in my life. Anyhow, it's been a while. It's been about a month and a half, even longer than a month and a half, since I recorded the last episode. But I still haven't posted any of the 4 episodes that are now created, or after this one is done, then this will be the 4th episode. But I do want to do that pretty soon. Like I think I mentioned last time, I wanted to make 5 episodes and then release them kind of like in a burst. So I got like 5 episodes lined up right away on my new channel, Tice's Tech Track. And the plan is to do that pretty soon. I think I will create the next episode in a couple of days. It sort of depends how things go. And then we should be basically ready to go to get Tice's Tech Track in the public. Because right now I'm just like doing quite a bit of effort to record these episodes, but nobody can watch them because they're all on my laptop only. So I'm very excited for that actually. I'm looking forward to making my journey a bit more public. So that's really cool. In this episode, I basically just want to like catch up on what I've been doing over the past month and a half, because I have been doing quite a lot towards this goal as well. Like I've been working on one of my businesses or one of my applications, which is kind of like my main application, which to me feels like has the most potential to be something good and be something of value. So I kind of want to introduce that because I think I haven't really given it a proper introduction yet before. And then we're just going to talk about like what I have basically been doing with that one over the past month and a half or so. One more thing I wanted to mention before we're going to dive into this topic today is when I launched Tice's Tech Track, I am kind of going to let go of the weekly schedule, I think. Because I did notice that there's quite a bit of time going into this and like creating each episode, but also thinking about a topic to talk about. So I want these episodes to be like more of a natural flow. So whenever there is like something that I stumble upon in life or in my current tech and business journey that is of interest. Like, for example, the last episode was a very good example of that, where I had to say no to a good friend. If you haven't watched that, then please be sure to do so, because I think that one came out really well, or really nicely. And I kind of want to do these episodes like that. So I kind of want to let go of that weekly, like having to upload a weekly thing, because I don't... It sounds a bit sad, but I don't really want to put too much effort into these videos. Like, I don't want to promote them too much because it's not my main goal right now. The main goal with this is to just document my business journey and sort of, just like I want to later watch back at these episodes myself as well and sort of be able to pick out the main things that I was, I was, how to say that? Like, I was hitting or I was like challenged by, I guess. That's sort of the trajectory. So I'm gonna let go of the weekly thing. I'm not entirely sure what the schedule is going to be. Like, I guess sometimes there's gonna be an episode a week. Sometimes it's gonna take a month before an episode comes out. I think honestly it's gonna be a bit less frequent than one a week. Might be once, like bi-weekly or something like that. But we'll just have to see. I think right now it's just the most important thing to get this thing out there. Because that's I think just a nice thing to do And I'm currently already kind of like on my way on my business journey, so I think that that's also good to just get this thing out there pretty quickly. Um, yeah, so that's about that. Let's start on the topic of today, which is my map tool application. So, to give a little bit of a backstory about this application, actually, like the first time I made a map application. So this is kind of like a map editor or a map creator. Sorry, a map creator. So you can like create custom maps and then put them on your website or something like that with this. Like that's kind of like what the product is that I created and currently am trying to promote as much as possible, basically. But yeah, I think I remember the first time I saw like an interactive map. It's kind of like a Google map, you could say. I saw this on Jayo.com. Like Jayo, Matt Gelle, is a good friend of mine. And we get in touch because I basically reached out to him when I was learning to build websites, and I wanted to like improve his website because it was very slow. And he became one of my first like website projects. I first did it for free. Like I just wanted to do like some optimization. I think I don't even remember honestly like what the type of things I did, but he had this page on his website which showed his tour map. So he was like cycling around the world at the time, or he tried to. He already cycled twice. He attempted to cycle around the world twice. 2 times had medical. Like one time he was like hit by a truck, and the other time he had knee problems. And then the third time was stopped by COVID, which is pretty tragic. But at the time he was like I think preparing for his third trip. And I just reached out to him. I wanted to learn more about website creation, and I wanted to update his website. So he had this like cool map application on his website, which is like a travel map. But I remember it was incredibly slow. Like it was super slow to load. It took like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 seconds every time like on page load, And he mentioned to me that he has put in like a couple $1,000 to get that map application working. Like it was a big deal. So from then, I think I just got the idea of making it easier for him to update the map and making it cooler. And I think at the time I was also doing my own bike trip. Like I did 2 3-month bike trips through Europe, one through Northern Europe and one through Eastern and like Central Europe, you could say. And so heavily inspired by his travel map, I created my own travel map of like my trip, which was very cool to do. And I also used that same code because I like coded it myself. I used the same code to basically recreate his own map to make it faster. But the only problem was that like right now, like before he had to do all the like creating all the points on the map, he had to put that in a WordPress backend. And now that changed to just like a JSON file, like just like a text file on his server that he had to update the map, which is not ideal. It's actually pretty bad. So yeah, like that was like the first version, and then I created like a full-on map editor. So that was like you have your own backend, and then you can like sort of I think drag and drop on the map. You can like create lines. It was pretty nice. Very simple to basically have a bit more of an intuitive way to update this travel map. But I don't think I ever adopted this version myself or used it for Gyro Nation. Like I think it was just too cumbersome. It wasn't ready yet, and my coding skills weren't ready yet for that type of thing. So then in 2021. That was quite an important time for this travel map application. I did a total revamp. Like I started from scratch again. I used a framework called Svelte because before I was using Next.js, which is kind of like a React framework. And I did this revamp because I wanted to learn this new framework. Like I wanted to learn Svelte. I wanted to learn what it was about. And it turned out it was pretty amazing. Like it was very intuitive and easy to create this travel map, and it was also very performant. That's what I remember at the time. So after, like, I remember I was doing this in the summer of 2021. Um, yeah, after like, I don't know how long it took. I think like 2 or 3 months. I had this whole new map application there, and it was complete. Like, it had a login, so like people could actually sign up, not just me and Matt Gallett. Like, people could just sign up and create their own maps, and then embed those maps on their own website. And I think also the reason why this one is just so much better is because I gained so much more experience after I got my new job as a web developer working for Webinar Geek, which was in 2020. Like, June 2020, I got this job, and then I think a year later is when I decided to work on this. And I did this in my free time. So, like, I was working full time at the time, which is just crazy to think about. I was working full time, and like in the evening and like on the weekend, I would be working on this travel map application. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. That, I mean, it was during COVID, so like it was nothing else to do basically, and I was living back home, which is like a small village. So it was like optimal conditions for something like this. So then I created this new travel map application, and this one was really good. Like, this one was actually, I would say, if you were to like compare it to something like Google My Maps, you probably heard of Google My Maps, which is kind of like you can create your own map on a Google Maps application provided by Google. It's a very, very popular one. That one is like, it's pretty good, but I would say that mine is a bit better because it's just a bit more intuitive. And the design looks a bit more slick. Like, just my design is a bit better. With Google My Maps, there are like a few more, how to say, like options available, but mine is pretty decked out as well. And it has one feature that no other map builder has, which is it can connect to Strava. So you can basically import activities from Strava, like for example cycled routes. This is especially useful for if you're a cyclist or a hiker or a runner, and you have like activities on Strava. You can just import them, and they'll show on the map. So that was really good. Like, I'm really happy with that. But after I created the map editor, and I had like a little website that just had like a homepage. It was very, very simple. I think I just had a homepage and an about page, and that was about it. I didn't do anything with it anymore. Like, I got hooked on something else, which was learning Mandarin Chinese in 2020, 2021 as well. And I was basically, at that point, I was basically waiting to go to Taiwan. Now, this was in 2021, so the world was opening up slightly, but it was still not like open to the point where you can just like travel to countries again. Especially Asia was still like fully locked down. And I think Taiwan was like one of the last countries to open up. I could go there in March 2022. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I built the map, built it all out, and I basically didn't do anything with it for 2 years, I guess, because now I'm like picking it up again. I think it more like 2.5 years. Um, so yeah, but in the meantime, there were people signing up. And I found out about these things when I decided to sort of pick up working on the travel map application again in December, basically. Like, how to say? So in 2022, I was doing like, I was doing the Taiwan thing, and some things happened here, which weren't so fun. Learned Mandarin Chinese very well, but just became overwhelmed with everything. And actually, at that time is when I wanted to really start promoting Map My. At the time, it was called Map My Tours. I wanted to promote Map My Tours like pretty full on, like just promote it to the world. I wanted to upload like a demo to my YouTube channel. Didn't do any of it because I found out that like I was just too overwhelmed with things to do in Taiwan. Then became quite depressed because I couldn't do all the things that I wanted to do. And I mean, one of the other things I wanted to do was edit all of the YouTube videos that I still had. Like at the time I had like a backlog of videos that I wanted to edit and upload. And then I wanted to start creating videos in Taiwan. Ended up creating videos in Taiwan and then postponing to edit those as well. So in the end, I had like a huge backlog of videos, like I think 40 or 50 videos that were just sitting on a hard disk. So then in March 2023, I decided to start on that first. Like I just wanted to get those videos out. I wanted to get up to date again. Did that. I thought it would take me about 2 months. It took me about 9 months. It took me till about like October last year. And yeah, that was like kind of like a very big project for me as well. It took a lot longer than expected. But I'm still glad I did it, because I think if I hadn't like edited all of those videos, then they would have been forgotten. Like they would have never been edited and they would have never been out there, you know? So I found it quite an important thing to do, even though like I don't know what it is, but I feel like the YouTube vlog days are kind of over, or at least my channel is sort of dead, because these videos were not getting any views. Like usually my videos would get like 1,000 views at least, but these were getting like 100. You know, I was happy if they were over like 150 views. Which was not the main purpose. It's the same as this channel. It's not the main purpose is views. It's just to document my journey. But yeah, that was just like a personal thing. Like I just wanted to get these videos out there. I wanted to get that chapter sort of closed, right? Like I wanted to close off these past videos that were just still lingering around. So I did that. Took quite long. And after that, I basically started to prepare for what I'm currently working on. As I said, I did a lot of research in AI. I made 2 episodes on that, and since then I've basically been full on this map application. And quite some things have changed right now that I've started on like really working on this map application. Like I've kind of changed my approach quite a bit to really look at like what's already out there in the world and sort of reverse engineer what they're doing. So it turns out there are already a lot of map creation applications out there, right? So in the beginning, that was also the thing that I did not want to do. Like that's probably why I postponed it for such a long time, because I knew that there was probably going to be a tool out there just like mine, right? So that's often like the killer of the dream, right? Like you just created something and then you find out that the exact same thing is already out there, which is sort of true, but not entirely. Like there are definitely other map creation tools out there, but I found that mine was still unique. Like I found that my design was really good. And mine was also very intuitive, and other, like for example Google Mind Maps, they're not super intuitive to use. So slowly, like I was a bit beaten down in the beginning, because I was like, yeah, there are these map tool, like there are these tools that are already like out there for like 10 years, you know, like very settled down. Then I started thinking like the time of these type of applications is over, right? Like you think like, nah, these are all like old-fashioned things, and nobody wants to make travel maps anymore. Like everybody's on TikTok now and Reels and stuff, you know. But then I was kind of like you never know, because like the company that I currently work for, like they make software in an, like how to say, like in an industry that I'm like, well, I would be using like YouTube for that, for example, like YouTube Live or something like that, but you know, they're making good money. Like they have quite a huge customer base. So I guess the lesson there is just like you never know until you try, right? Like you never know if this travel map application is going to work out or not. And looking at other travel map applications, like some of them do have a lot of users while you don't expect it. Like some of them look a bit old-fashioned and they still got like 150,000 users. You know, like that's pretty cool. Like even if I get like a small segment of that, that would already be pretty awesome. So in the past month and a half, what I've basically been doing is I started with doing this research, and really trying to reverse engineer things. So I really first did like how to say, like keyword research and research on like Google Trends, like which type of words are usually used in correlation with the map application that I created. Came to a few conclusions, one of which is that the name Map My Tours is not ideal. So I changed it to Map My Travels. So right now it's called Map My Travels. What else did I do? So I did the rename. Oh yeah, I checked the usage on my travel map, and it turns out there are actually quite a few users. Like I think when I started doing research, there were like 120 users. Now I hadn't implemented any pricing or anything like that. Like I would just be like, oh, people can just use this like completely free. But there are some limitations, like people can also upload their own pictures and, like using Google Maps itself, because that's what I'm using under the hood, costs a little bit of money on my end, let alone just the hosting of the application itself. So I checked the usage first, sent a customer feedback email out to every one of my users, got no response. I even did an A/B split test on user. Like some people would get the normal email just asking for customer feedback, and I would be like very polite, like saying like, oh, just it only takes like 5 minutes, and I would really appreciate it. And then I would have like an alternative email, which would be like, if you fill in this application, you get a $5 Amazon gift card. And I thought I had seen that strategy before, but I actually remembered it, because that was like a strategy for leaving a review on like some kind of like Trustpilot or something like that. You would get like a gift card. But I was like, heck, I want this feedback. I want to know from people that are using my map application what they think about it, how they like it. So I just sent this out. Got one response back actually on the Amazon gift card version, or actually two. One was my little brother who had signed up like back when I started it. I guess I was like showing it to him, and he like signed up. He got the Amazon gift card version, but he doesn't use it at all. So he filled it out. I sent him the gift card anyway, like whatever. And then there was this other response, which was also like quite lazy. Like it had a few, not required fields. Like, how did you learn about that much of? I think that one was required. But then he filled in like, oh, I forgot. Like there was just no usable data in his form at all. Like it was a very lazy response. But I still sent him the Amazon gift card because, he got that email. So I learned from that. Yeah, it didn't really work very well. Or I guess I just don't have enough users to really care about that. I guess a lot of people just tried it out and then just, forgot about it many months later. Because this tool has already been out there for like 2.5 years now. So that was like it was like kind of like a fun experiment. Another thing I did is I implemented pricing. My pricing strategy is definitely based on some of the competitors I have. There's another map application that has the 150,000 users, which is called Travel Map, which is similar but different. So like I kind of looked at their pricing, and I think one other like map tool company, and I kind of made a similar pricing, but a bit less expensive, I guess. So I did that, and I also implemented that in the editor. So as soon as you go over the limit, like right now the limit on the free version is you can only add 100 markers to your map, like these points, these pins. You can only add 100. If you try to add one more, you get like a little pop-up that says like you have to start paying. But I would say it's still pretty like good, because you can add as many travel maps as you want. So you can, and then each map has the limits. Like it's not a user-based limit. Only the custom icons you can upload to your account. Like you can add these marker icons, which you can then upload. Is in the free version is just 5. And then going up, of course, if you take these plans. Haven't heard anything yet. Like no one has taken a plan yet, unfortunately. One of the good things that I did is I tried to really, like, how to say, I how to explain this? Like I was listening to an audiobook from Elon Musk, and he says that you have to simplify everything and delete anything that's unnecessary. And so, like, I could, for example, right now start implementing like a payment, how to say, like a payment flow, so that automatically they can go from the pricing page and then pay and then go to the editor. It would take a little bit of time to set up, but I was like, you know what? I could spend like the 3 or 4 days to set this up, or I could focus on just promoting my application a lot more rather than doing this, and then worry about this later. So what I did is on the pricing page right now, if you click get started, like you choose one of the plans, it comes with a form that basically says, I'm sorry, I haven't implemented like a pricing thing yet, but you can send me the plan that you want and then like a custom message if you have to. And then I'll send you a payment link. So I set up like Stripe. I sort of tested out how it works. So I'll just send them a payment link of Stripe and then they have their plan, like as soon as it's paid. It's a manual process, but the thing is like, I'm not sure yet if this is going to work out. And until I know for sure, implementing this pricing platform would be a waste, because like, what if no one is ever going to do it? And I have made this mistake before. Like I ever created like a time tracker application, which there are like millions of in the world. And I implemented like a pricing. I implemented like a whole, I don't know, like a pro plan. It wasn't very complicated, but it just took a long time to set up, to later have like 0 users on it. And last month I even killed the app. Like I was still using it myself for time tracking, but I went to like Clockify, because it was just not, like, there were like errors coming up. It just wasn't working. So yeah, that was a big learning. So like I kept it very simple. I implemented a pricing page. Took me only like, I don't know, like 2 days to do. And for the rest, I have just been focusing on content creation, because like I think right now the most important thing is I have to rank for these keywords that people are trying to find these applications for. A very important one is travel map, and that's also like one of my competitors is ranking for that one very well. Created travel map, like some of these like longer tail keywords are a bit more easy to rank for. So I spent the last week just creating content, which is, I like coding a lot. But like I have to force myself to do this, because like I can add features to this application all day, but if no one is going to use it, then what's the reason? Like no one is, like, it's just a waste. So yeah, really like keyword optimization. I learned everything about like SEO optimization, and I guess we can save that for another episode. But yeah, it's been a pretty full-on week. I also do not allow myself to watch any YouTube. Like I'm pretty strict on myself this week, because I also just came back from 2 weeks travel. Like we went to Indonesia to see my girlfriend's family, and then we also went to Malaysia for travel. And then I got like a stomach bug, so like for a whole week I just was not feeling well. Like I got like food poisoning or something. So I had 2 weeks in which I didn't really do that much, and I really want this to be a success. So this past week I've just been working on blogs, yeah, as well as bug fixes. That was the last point I wrote down. Was like I was working on bug fixes, but yeah, I really hope it's gonna work out. I do plan to actually run paid ads. So right now my ranking is not yet optimal, because I just created all of this content. I also revamped the homepage quite a bit. Looking a lot better right now. Like it's yeah. Right now, like I feel like the front end of the application has got like a proper face. And I also really like I created 3 blog posts. I'll link them in the show notes. Or I'll link the blog page of this website in the show notes. I think they came out really well, and I think that's the cool thing. Like these are definitely blog posts that I would want to read myself as well. So it was a lot of fun to do, actually. But it was a lot of work. Like, oh my god, so much work to like proofread it, and I'm not a really good writer myself. Of course, right now you have things like ChatGPT, but like if you know what you want to create, it's still faster to just create it yourself. Like I would still use ChatGPT, like I was still using it for generating like the meta description, for example. But like writing the blog post, I basically did myself, and I think that was like the best idea to do as well, because otherwise it would have been just like the content would have been very AI generated, and right now I put like a bit of soul into it as well. Like I tested out, like I made one blog post where I compare some of the different travel map creators, and so yeah, some of these I've also used myself. Like for example, Relive, which is like a map video creator. So like it creates like a video on a map of like places you've gone, and I was very enthusiastic about it. So I even linked to like my own YouTube video where this Relive video was baked into. So yeah, like that was a good experience. I wanted to create 3 blog posts. I just completed those 3 blog posts. And I am going to run a trial ad campaign, I guess. Because I just want to get some users. Like at this point, I just want to see like a bit of a better performance in terms of like website visitors and even users. So I'm just gonna do like a little trial on, for example, create a travel map. I think that's a pretty good keyword for people that are looking for the thing that I provide. So I think I'm just gonna like do like $50 of an ad campaign, and then we'll see. And then in the meantime, I'm going to publish this podcast. So yeah, I think that's pretty exciting. So thank you for watching this one. Sorry it ran a little bit long, but then again, I think I'm also gonna sort of let go of the length because I do see myself checking like how long I've been talking for, and it sometimes sort of interrupts the flow of speaking and also the flow of my thoughts. So yeah, I'll still have to kind of like strike like a good balance for this, I guess. But so far, I'm definitely enjoying it, and I think this is a nice thing to do because it's also like for myself, just documenting the journey that I'm currently on, which hopefully in the end will bring some success. We'll see. Yeah, thank you for watching this one, and yeah, please give it a like. Please leave a comment down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already on this YouTube channel. It probably doesn't have that many subscribers, but that's fine. So yeah, just stick around if you like these episodes. Also, if you have any suggestions on things that you want me to talk about, then you can also leave them down below. You can always reach out. So thanks for watching this one. See you in the next one. Bye bye.